Take three. Okay. I think the two worst things that can happen in regards to social media is wasting time and emotional investment. And I think for emotional investment, I'm at a zero, which is good because for a long time, social media was an extension of myself because it was like my journal and also how I like made connections with people about what I liked and I had opinions on what I liked. And if you didn't like it or if you didn't see it how I saw it, I got irritated and I still believe that I'm right on everything, or I did at one point that mattered to me and trying to explain. And now I have so tired of the cycles and the there is no cohesion to people. Like some people really just want to dislike things or not figure it out, or they're not. Um, you get irritated because you assume that everyone has basically lived your life to come up with your thoughts and your opinions and interests, and then you have to constantly realize that no, they don't, and some aspects just aren't important to them, and they might just like really empty, pretty, vapid things, so that's fine. And yes, my emotional investment went down as I've decreased my use and decreased my need to and belief in that there is a way answer. Like I still take pride in some of my tastes and some of my opinions and stuff like that, um, or at least it matters to me because I need it for myself. But I am less inclined to care since the universe works in infinity. It's like everything is possible, so everybody is supposed to be different. So that's just the way it is, and the grace of allowing other people to have answers and to think differently, even if they're wrong. So yeah, there's that, and then there's distractions, the distraction use, and right now maybe this is just cope, and I want to give myself some wiggle room, but I do find the also it's just convenient. Some aspects of the explore page on Instagram, which I've been looking at mostly. I think that's my most, yeah, that's what I use social media for the most. It's probably what I'm on my phone for the most until I uninstall, which I do like every 2 days. Um, the explore page is just hypnotizing because of its access and the that universal allure of options and like the cheesiest, most gluttonous, most ridiculous foods of it's such the opposite of gratefulness and appreciation. At points where it's like there's just too much food in the food. There's too much going on. It's doing the most, and looking at the time and the distance of going to the grocery store and the price is there, and then you get online and there's not um, there's not outcry and everything is just the explore page. It exists in like an infinite like 2015, 2016 or something. I wish I had more Instagram history just to be able to compare it to, because I do remember when people started joining in 2011 and 2012, and it was just mostly like high schoolers posting and typical mundane things like the sky, doing homework, making like brownie mix in a mug, things like that. And I don't know when the explore page started existing, but I scroll through and it is so the simulation and the like I just can't believe there's not more outcry for some the way content is the format these days, where it is like 30 seconds and you can't skip. I mean, it's like 30 seconds and always background music and like a robot voice or some other person, like the content creator's voice, which is always annoying, and their face up close. Like I'm so tired of seeing faces. That's like one reason why I am less interested in YouTube. It's just like every thumbnail, just having to see people's faces all the time. Like I remember when people were scared to post themselves and to use their real names, and it was all stranger danger, and I miss that because I'm there's just like they're not I don't like when people just say like narcissist to mean anyone that cares about their parents or just looks beautiful. Like I think narcissism is very manipulative, and it is, it is a distinct like disorder, and they're not narcissists, but they're. And at the same time, it's like some people do this to, it's just, it can be casual confidence. Some people do this because they want to feel good, that they look good, and they're not trying to be better. It's just, it's like the wife thing I mentioned in a video of, men saying that, thinking that like everyone needs to reflect their actual quote unquote like score grade in life, and they get annoyed when like mid women think that they're better than they are. But if that was their wife, they would want their wife to have confidence. So it's like I want people to have confidence and not have to like do this thin line walking of appearing exactly in their scale and like their grade, their task, their resume, whatever it is. But maybe it's the illusion aspect. It's just like, okay, you are wearing the same makeup as everyone else, and you think you're all that, but it's like you are just a trend. So I, I'm just tired of seeing the same thing and the. I don't know. Did I mention in this video, or was it another take? But like the reflections of like going to the grocery store and those prices versus what you see. Yeah, okay, I think I said this, but like Instagram, like the infographics were annoying, but it's so if you really don't think about what you're seeing, it is like Willy Wonka tunnel vision. It is so amusement park levels of colors not not reality, and the lack of concern. It's like we're in such a hyper focused cancel culture woke like concern, and then at the same time we're not like it's all about treating everyone equal. And then you get on the page and enter the explore page, and no one's talking about the food prices or the quality of dining or interrogating the excess. And all these women, I'm going to say specifically, with their makeup products and thinking they're entrepreneurs and small business owners and independent workers, when they're really like content creators, they're influencers that are promoting corporate makeup. And it just doesn't make sense because that they probably pride themselves on being liberal and thinking that makes them a good person and being anti-capitalist, but then their content is all about trying the latest Revlon product and going to Sephora all the time. And I just haven't seen content creators or women interrogated in this specific way of it's like right there in front of our faces and nobody's saying anything about it. I think the closest thing I've seen is buying fast fashion. Then the SAS will like mention things, but they're not. I don't think they're necessarily calling out anyone in particular. They're just saying like overall, like if you buy fast fashion, that's bad, and then other women will enable the conversation to like, well, that's all like people can afford, and you're saying that poor people can't have nice things when nice things are they're not even nice things. They're very cheap. It's all polyester. It's just the idea and appearance of nice things. Like I do understand fast fashion to the extent of it is such a variety and it covers a lot of aesthetics and genres, so I appreciate that. But like the quality of itself is not good, and obviously it's like a human rights issue, and there's a lot of children and labor rights. I'm just constantly wowed about like the things that are ignored by people that pride themselves on like caring about the current thing, and especially with inflation right now. Um, like I don't know, I really don't know how people are getting through it. Well, there's someone I do know that's been working like 90 hours a week, and I personally haven't gone grocery shopping in 2 months. I've just been making do with what I have at home, or luckily, like, people bring in food a lot at work, so I've been getting through it. And it's just with the rise of inflation, there's no there is no revolution. Like, it's kind of just like, what does it take to get a reaction out of these people? Because food is such an essential thing, and I can't tell if they're just putting everything on their credit cards, and it's credit cards that are giving the illusion that people can make it through or they're going to be fine. If we took away all the credit, then people really had to live by their means. And then when we get the revolution, I think there's some kind of illusion, something that is there's too much safety or pretend safety, and people don't see it as a big deal. And I do have relatives that are on stamps and have been for many, many years, if not decades. So it's kind of interesting how I myself, am not on stamps and have no government assistance, am worried, and there's people that have that are on stamps and aren't worried. It's like there's no outcry, even though America and Americans are having a hard time. And something like food affects everyone. It's not like Black Lives Matter or some racism thing where we're protecting certain classes or we're worried about certain classes. Like, everyone needs to eat, and to see everyone be crushed under this weight, even though it's not felt the same because some people just have more. Like, I don't understand. This just seems like the kind of case that would be, people would want to stand up and march in the streets for, like, feel something about. And it is so, there is no mobilization, there is no coverage, there is no serious coverage other than, probably like those weird Forbes articles that say like, oh, inflation is actually good, and here's why, and suggestions about like, here's the types of meals you can make, and then it's just still like unrealistic. I was listening to this Byung Chul Han podcast, and they were talking about nostalgia, and I've been thinking about nostalgia for the past couple of years, just because it feels like inorganic in a way, where there were a lot of things that I could be nostalgic about that felt like they were taken before it was their time. Like, I wasn't allowed to get there on my own. It was all like, nostalgia came from corporate before people naturally felt like remembering. And I think that's because corporations don't have any more products or are too lazy, and wanted to go to nostalgia. And that's when, like, I remember for Forever 21 and stuff, they would come out with like so many cartoon shirts like Rugrats and Hey Arnold and stuff like that. And now clothes do like Bratz collabs, like Barbie's back, the Barbie movie, things like that. And it felt really disrespectful, and like something was being stolen from us. And I mean, it's like in my generation, and I don't think other people really got the sense of that. That that our memories could be our rights. I mean, in a way, it was theirs to begin with. Like, I do have memories of like watching Rugrats, so to say that Nickelodeon can't like call back their own things or like that was mine, but in a way, it was ours when you produce culture, and you just make it so people have no choice but for pop culture to be their culture, and then you also destroy it. There's this huge dehumanization tactic to me about these remakes and reboots, and the way that they kind of crush all my memories and like pour them out and mutilate them. Which, it's like, as a millennial, you don't get much. You haven't gotten much from life, and It's like the one thing we did have that everybody gets is memories, and there's something weird about the way that our memories are just like being butchered. I'm not explaining this very well, but I think the different generations are remembered differently, and I wonder what generation really started like having big airs of nostalgia. I guess it would have to be in the 1900s when there was more material to reflect on the past, and when old newspapers are collecting, then you can point out more when there was more media to make the nation kind of be under the same like on the same page, and everyone kind of relates to having and consuming the same things. Um, like I remember in the Facebook days when parents finally started getting on, and it was embarrassing because they kept like reflecting on the memories. I think it started with Gen Xers probably when they had the Facebook groups and the memes that were like, I remember when we used to bike around when we were kids and we didn't go inside until the streetlights came on and things like that. And even that seems more wholesome than the nostalgia that we have these days. Like those were actual people talking about their own time. It wasn't being repackaged and resold to them. Because nostalgia is a memory product now, and what I think has happened is that the present and the past are now consumer products, and it used to just be like the present, um, and now I theorize that, or I think theorizing is a consumer product to mine the future. It is the last monetary frontier left, and by that I mean we have nostalgia in full force, and the present is always just consumerism, and um, it's just like, how can we make more money? Where's the land left in this dimension? Like, how can we mine the land? And the only thing that's left is the future. And that's where, like, Luge comes in. Just making people be afraid and thinking that you could predict it. And this also reflects back to a comment I made in some video about, my lack of interest in discussion sometimes when it comes to the manosphere, because it is not only regurgitating, but people clearly have nothing left to say. All they can say is what they predict, and that's why it doesn't feel like there's value, because it's not actually solving anything anymore. It is just saying like, okay, we're gonna wait around and we're gonna see the next 35-year-old women crumble, and it's gonna be so satisfying because they are exactly like someone 20 years ago. It's just like very weird. Constantly wanting the worst for the future of women because of women that they knew when they were 18. Like, nobody is allowed to be a person, everyone is just their gender now. I also think there might be something to like the rise of manosphere, connected to like the rise of um, anti-racism, and it's like I remember the more like people talked about race and were like talking about white privilege existing, the more gay or LGBT and mentally ill white people became, because they wanted to deflect that responsibility and they didn't want to feel guilty. So they were like, you're right, like I'm white and I have privilege, but guess what? Like I'm also trans, I'm also a lesbian, and I am gay. So I'm not the highest on the totem pole. I'm like right behind you in terms of disadvantages. But now that has become so normalized. So now you see like autism becoming the next thing. So I think that the more we focus on racism and focus on not liking white people, I think white men might have gotten a taste of that and were like, okay, well, it's not our fault, so we're gonna turn the tables on white women, and that's why we have like all these different sides and different fighting, and they've all been on the rise because nobody wants to be blamed or feel like that they are at fault, and I don't think anyone is at fault, I guess. Um, like it is so unserious now that there's not even any people that I really want to protect or say are the disadvantaged or the advantage. I just think everyone is so hypocritical, and I don't expect anyone to really use their intentions to act on their intentions as much as they want to feel their intentions. So everyone wants to think and feel like they're a good person, but nobody wants to, complete the act. And I think people don't have all the time in the world to actually do that. And sometimes it isn't even a matter of hypocrisy. It is just being realistic that you can't spend your entire life on a cause for other people. And that's why I'm choosing to be more selfish with my life, because I thought that, because I know like I can't save the world, and that doesn't make me a bad person. So another thing that I find interesting about the Explore page is this rising trend that ties back with like the beginning of the internet. When people really started using YouTube, like the first things I remember were song parodies, especially rap parodies. And then maybe like 5 years later, in like 2011, 2012, the shit blank people say started making the rounds. And now it feels like that is like 90% of content creators' ideas on the Explore page is just parodying and remembering the past. And there are some content creators that will literally just sing old songs and be like, "Oh, this is my jam." Like, when this came on in the club in 2005, and like wear a dress that looks like it was from 2005, and play like a 2005 song. I don't know if it's from 2005, I don't know, but like "Yeah" by Usher. And that's their whole shtick, is just like that constantly, and they'll have thousands of followers, and that is enough to sustain their internet career and actually get paid or sponsorships. So I'm constantly being fed like my own memories, like my own life. It is like eating your tail. It is, or reiterations like if Harry Potter Hogwarts teachers were black, this is what they would do. Like how Gossip Girl used to be, and it's just all parodies, and it doesn't make sense to spend my life and my present going through videos that are just reenacting what we all already did. And I don't know why more people aren't finding that weird. There are sometimes they get it like really right, or it is a very niche memory that I feel like can be shared. But if it's just like a Disney Channel show, if it's just like these are how Disney Channel scripts used to be, and if it is so pointedly already remembered, like it's not even getting a sense of joy out of the nostalgia. It just feels it feels like we have nothing left, and it feels like another sense of people thinking or overvaluing themselves in the way that you really think that you can be a creative person, but you are mediocre. It's mediocrity. It's like I can't create or innovate, but I can recall. And with this infinite scroll of the Explore page, there's never any satiated appetite. You're never satisfied. It is once again like, never mind, I'll just end that thought there. And there's also this thing that I've seen like with recipes. These remixes of recipes that I'm getting annoyed by. Like, I want things to be simple. I just miss when things could be like what they were. And that's not to say that some of these recipes don't look good, but I keep getting this one that's like toasted potatoes with like Parmesan, like crispy toasted potatoes, Parmesan, and like crushed smashed. It's called smashed broccoli, smashed cauliflower, smashed sweet potatoes, things like that. And then you'll have like a Greek yogurt dip with a dill and like all these ingredients. It's so complicated, and it is seductive in a way where it looks good, and it looks like it could even be healthy, and you want to be the person that is capable of making these things. But at the same time, it is just like, we just, can we just eat regular meals again? Like, what's so bad about mashed potatoes? It involves too much thinking, making notes. It's the excess again of nothing is ever good as it is. You have to constantly one up each other's ideas to remain a top content creator. You have to impress people. You have to at least pretend that you're inventing, because 90% of videos now are just like, what, like, I saw this viral recipe, I'm gonna try today, and then they click and they're like, this was so good. Like, you're not even the person who has to go viral anymore. It's, you just have to do the trend. It's always like, I saw this viral lipstick, and today we're gonna try it. It's this strangest economy of rehashed, remix, reboot, remake.